got a call from someone. I didn't recognize the name, but I had been emailing him he said, for about 10 years.
Okay.
And I'm meeting with him early this morning for a listing appointment, and he's ready to sign. I'm just going to see the condition. So it's great.
Love it. Hey, just out of curiosity, how do you know he's ready to sign?
I asked him.
There you go.
I said, should I bring the paperwork or do you want to do DocuSign? He said DocuSign. I said, great. I'm just coming over for 15, 20 minutes and look over the CMA and I'll DocuSign you. Yep.
That's awesome, guys. Alternative of choice close.
Well, by the way, I would like to comment that you said you've been communicating with him for 10 years, but you didn't know him, but you didn't stop communicating with him. You didn't drop him out of your database because he didn't tell you to get lost or drop dead. So you kept communicating. And lo and behold, 10 years later, when he was ready, there you were. What a lesson. What a lesson.
Actually, he was an agent back then and decided to go full-time in the tax business. So he remembered me and he told me how we connected. I'm like, okay.
Love it.
It worked.
Good job, guys.
Good morning, John. It's
Yes.
Can I say something?
Please do.
So I put a listing on Monday night last week, and I had requests to show on Tuesday, and I showed it every day this week, and I had 4 offers by Saturday. So that was great.
That is better than great. That is awesome. Good stuff. Really good stuff. All right, everybody. I am live from the new Fort Lauderdale Market Center this morning. What a treat for all of you who are on this call, who are part of the Fort Lauderdale Market Center. What a beautiful place you have to call home. I'm really happy for you guys. So I want to start by reviewing the 4 models of MREA. And those 4 models are the economic model, lead generation model, budget model, and the organizational model. And I would encourage you, wherever you are in your real estate path, master those 4 models. Get into this book and read those 4 models over and over and over again. You can't know them too well. Now, starting with the economic model, the 3 key things that I would want you to write down underneath the economic model are: know what numbers you must hit. In other words, if I want to net $100,000, what are the numbers that I need to hit in order to net $100,000? Every business is a math equation. That's all it is. And the economic model is the math equation of real estate. And how awesome is it that we're a part of an organization, Keller Williams, that we can go into leadership, to team leaders and productivity coaches and MCAs and everyone who's a part of leadership and ask, hey, if I wanted to earn $100,000, what's the path? And that leader would be able to sit down with you and say, here's the path. And it's a math equation. A plus B plus C equals D. It's just that simple. Focus on appointments and focus on conversations. So what's the economic model to net $100,000? You're going to drill down to how many appointments you need to go on in order to get the number of listings, seller listings you need, and buyer listings that you need. And then you're going to focus on how many conversations you need to have in order to hit those numbers. So I am going to skip to, hold on a second. No, I am on page 130. Here's what Gary has to say. There are 3 key areas of focus in your economic model. First, you need to focus on knowing the key numbers you must hit. Understanding how the different aspects of your business interact to produce financial results is essential to making sound decisions. Focus on the numbers you must hit, middle of the page. The greatest thing your economic model will tell you is what numbers you must hit in order to net the income you want to receive at the bottom of the page. once you get a feel for the way the numbers interact, you can take the guesswork, it's huge, out of your planning and set specific goals in specific areas to achieve specific results. Now, skipping to page 133, let's talk about the lead generation model. Because once we have completed the economic model, the focus is on appointments. And that's where the lead generation model comes in. Now, here's what Gary has to say, top of page 133. Once you know how many appointments you must have, you now have to generate the leads necessary to generate those appointments. The goal of the lead generation model is to win the positioning battle. Here's what Gary has to say on the positioning battle, middle of the page. The human mind is an inadequate container. The basic idea they share is that under the constant bombardment of advertising and marketing, the human mind becomes saturated by brands and can only hold a finite number at any one time. Reese and Trout, this is the organization who did the research, cite the work of Harvard psychologist George A. Miller when they assert that the maximum number of product brands we can remember for a given category, the brand saturation point for the mind is 7. So here's my question for you guys. If the brand saturation point for major products that are being advertised on TV, for example, if the number is 7, what's the saturation point for real estate agents in your market?
1 or 2.
1 or 2. Yep. So then the question is, how do you become the 1 or the 2, one of the top 2 people that people in your market think about when they think about real estate? Now, here's my suggestion. Gary Keller shared at Family Reunion that there were 5.6 million homes sold in 2020, yet there's 83 million homeowners in our country. And most real estate agents are chasing the 5.6 million opportunities at the bottom of the funnel. And Gary Keller shared that the most successful people on the planet live at the top of the funnel. That means they're focusing on the 83 million. Now, am I telling you to put 83 million people in your pipeline?
No.
No, I'm not. What I'm telling you is how many opportunities, how many relationships, how many people do you have in command? How many relationships are you building? And let's say the number is 300. If I called all 300, Claudia, and I said, hey, tell me a great real estate agent, how many of the 300 would say, oh, Claudia's your agent? She's absolutely the best. That's how many you have mind share with. Now, my job is to get as many agents in command as possible. And then Melissa, my second job is to create top of mind with all of those individuals. Now, if you never want to call another for sale by owner, if you never want to call another expired listing, if you never want to make another cold call, listen to me really carefully. Get 300, 400, 500 people into command. Launch a 36 touch smart plan with them. Work that 36 touch smart plan to the letter. In other words, don't cut any corners. Don't skip any calls. Make sure that you're communicating with them 36 times a year, not 35, not 34, not 33, because 33 is close enough. It's not good enough. Make sure you're reaching out to them and talking to them 4 times a year.
Mhm.
And 6.7% are going to buy a home or sell a home in the next 12 months. It is a fact. Now, every single one of them is going to know someone who's going to buy or sell a home in the next 12 months. How many of those are going to refer those leads to you? Well, none of them if you're not talking to them. However, I can take that 6.7% to at least 10% with referrals because I'm working my relationships, I'm building relationships, I'm making care calls, not sale calls, I'm bringing value to every conversation, and I've got 300 people that are in command generating a 10% return. I'm going to close 30 sales without calling one for sale by owner, without calling one expired listing, without making one circle prospecting call. So for those of you who don't want a cold call, I just gave you a plan to succeed without ever making one cold call.
John, could I ask a question, please?
Of course.
Okay, so I keep hearing over and over again, care calls, not sales calls. And
Yep.
I assume what you mean is a Ford call where you ask one of the Ford questions each time you call. But if you could just specify what that phrase, care calls, not sales calls, means, because that's what I'm thinking you're saying, but I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah, of course, Claudia. So a care call starts with gratitude. Thank you for taking my call. I appreciate you. Every care call brings value to the conversation. In other words, Chad, I was thinking about you and I wanted to reach out. First of all, I wanted to check in, see how's your family doing? Everybody good?
Yes. Thank you for calling, John.
Oh man, I'm so glad to hear that. Yeah, times are pretty crazy right now, aren't they?
Yeah, but we're getting used to it by now.
I'm glad
Hopefully
to
we
hear
get
that.
out soon.
I'm glad to hear that, man. Us too. So how's work? Are you still working at blank, blank, blank accounting firm?
Yes. Fortunately
Cool.
for us, we work is stable.
I'm glad to hear that, man. And if I had a referral for you, are you accepting new clients?
Absolutely.
Cool. So I'll work really hard to see if I can find a referral for you. Okay, Chad?
All right. I appreciate that, John. I'm always looking for extra clients.
Yeah, of course, man. So what are you doing for fun right now, Chad?
Exercising.
Yeah.
That's as much fun I can have right now safely.
Yeah. You know, that's always a good thing. You know, speaking of exercise, and I do a lot of exercising as well. And as you know, I'm a real estate agent. One of the things that I do to exercise is I'm walking neighborhoods, knocking on doors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's a lot of fun. How's that turning out for you?
You know, it's actually pretty good. I'm glad you asked. And it's a great time to sell right now. So
I hear.
Oh, the market's hot.
Yeah. Tell
really
me about
is.
that. Tell me about that. Tell me more about the market.
Okay, Claudia, do you see how we went?
Yep.
You see the conversation?
Yep.
It's a care
Thank
call, not a sales call. Now, you want to hear a sales call? Hey, Chad, John Dietz. Just wanted to check in and see how you're doing.
Hey, John. Thanks for checking in.
Yeah, you bet. Hey, by the way, you know I'm a real estate agent, right?
Of course.
Yeah,
I
I
get
was
your
just
emails
curious.
all the time.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And you know, I was just curious, who do you know that's looking to sell their house? All right, Claudia, that's a sales call.
Yep.
You see the difference?
Sure do. Thank you.
Okay. By the way, it would be possible that somebody would think, well, I'm using that as a strategy in order to get business. Well, that's mindset. It's also a limiting belief. It's also a drunk monkey. So let me just be really honest with you guys. I truly care about the people I'm reaching out to. I truly care about each and every one of you. You know that's true. And when I'm having the care calls conversation with Chad, I am coming from a position of I truly care. I really am looking for an opportunity to help. I'm going to ask, is there anything that I can do for you? Now, if I hear we're locked in at home because we are in quarantine right now because a member of our family has COVID, Chad, I'm bringing dinner to you tonight. What do you guys like to eat? I'm going to go grab dinner and I'm going to leave it at the front door for you at 6 o'clock.
Yeah. I like that. I've done that before.
100. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Absolutely. It's a care call. I care. All
Yeah,
right.
I also would have asked Chad, since he was an accountant here, if he found that he was dealing with a particular type of client, and, you know, if he had a particular area of specialty that he had a lot of business in, you know, or that he was looking to develop, so that while I was speaking to people, if I knew of anybody, especially in that category, I could recommend him as someone who was specializing.
Good stuff. Thank you, Claudia. Great feedback. All right. Lead generation. I want you to make some notes under the lead generation model. And by the way, if you know you want to copy notes, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for 4 models that feed into one another. The economic model feeds into the lead generation model, which feeds into the budget model, which feeds into the organizational model. Now, notes under the lead generation model. You want to build a prospecting-based, marketing-enhanced lead generation system. Prospecting-based, marketing-enhanced. Set up a database and systematically market to your database. Those 36 touches, that's marketing. You're marketing to your database. And number 3, focus on seller listings. For all of you right now who are working with 4, 5, 6 buyers, you know how much time that's taking, especially if you're writing multiple offers to get one offer accepted. I'm not telling you not to work with buyers. All I'm doing is encouraging you to focus more on seller listings. Go get more seller listings.
Yeah. Hey, John.
Yeah.
The word that I heard you say that stuck out to me the most is focus. Focus on seller listings. What I found is through my focus on seller listings, I'm getting buyers in the process, which I'm not afraid of and I'm not running from. And yet my conversations are more focused on sellers. If I
were an attorney and you contacted me to represent you in a lawsuit, I would schedule a consultation. Yes?
Yes, absolutely.
We have consultations, right, everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And the purpose of that consultation would be to determine if you had a case that I felt that I could win.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes.
Absolutely.
And does every attorney take every case that walks in their front door?
Nope.
No.
Then why are we working with every single buyer who says they want to buy a house?
Right. Exactly. My thoughts exactly. Yeah.
Ask more questions right now. And boy, this is really slippery slope. So I want to be careful because we come from a place where we want to serve because we are servant-hearted leaders and we are in a business of serving all of those people that are in our database, serving the community. And I'm not telling you to turn down business, but what I am telling you is this. Here's the buyers that I'm looking to work with right now. Cash buyers.
Yeah.
Who are willing to pay above appraised value, who are able to pay above appraised value. I'm looking for buyers who are getting a loan with at least 20% down, who are able to pay above appraised value, who are willing to pay above appraised value, or I am looking for buyers in a price range where they are putting 5% down or 10% down. However, they have the ability to change their price range. In other words, to go from 700,000 max to 600,000 max. And when they change their price range, now they have more money to put down and they can go above appraised value.
Yeah.
I'm looking for buyers who could buy a home in the next 30 days.
So
Now, that means, one second, Claudia, that means we will consult buyers that we're meeting with, and some of them, it's going to be in their best interest to wait for the market to shift a little bit before they start looking. And you need to be the one that helps them realize that.
So that's what I wanted to ask is, we have to be careful about discrimination, but on the other hand, yeah, dealing with reality and saying, the kind of offer that you're positioned to make is not being accepted at this point of in time in the market by most sellers because they have multiple offers and they take stronger offers than what you're able to offer.
So Claudia, can I help you here for a moment? I don't mean to
Yeah.
interrupt you, but we're running out of time. Can I help you? Because I'm going to give you a script. Please go back and watch the video and write this down word for word.
Okay.
So in the beginning of our buyer consultation, I'm going to share with you, guys, you're going to hear the listing presentation right now. It's the same thing. For those of you who are familiar with my 14-point listing presentation, you're going to hear the same thing because it is the same thing. Claudia, I'd like to start by sharing my mission statement with you. My mission is to meet your goals and exceed your expectations. Now, because of that mission statement, whenever I meet with a potential buyer, one of three things typically happens. One of those three things will happen today. Either number one, they understand and appreciate the benefits that I have to offer and they hire me, which is awesome. The second thing that occasionally happens is they don't hire me, which quite honestly is not so awesome. And then the third thing that happens every so often is I may choose not to represent them in the purchase of a new home. Now, I'm going to pause just like I did in order to give them an opportunity to ask, well, why would you choose not to work with me? And my response to that is, that's a really good question, and you're going to like the answer. Now, if they don't ask that question, I'm simply going to transition to, now you may be wondering why I would choose not to represent someone in the purchase of their home. And you're going to really like the answer. You see, if I feel someone has a goal or an expectation that I cannot meet or exceed, I would rather turn the opportunity down today than let you down 30 days from now or let you down 60 days from now. Now, in a buyer consultation, I'm going to ask, what are the 5 things that you're looking for in your new home? What are 5 must-haves? And every time they give me an answer, I'm going to ask, why is that important to you? In other words, I need 4 bedrooms. Cool. Why is that important to you? Well, I've got 2 kids and I want a bedroom for my wife and I. So my wife and I, we want our own bedroom. And then we also want an office. So what I just discovered is a 3-bedroom with an office would also work for this buyer because I asked, why is that important to you? Now, if somebody says, I want a pool, talk to me about what that looks like, because I know what I think about when I say I want a pool, but I don't know for sure what you're thinking. I mean, they may be thinking just a small pool that they can come home to at the end of the day and get in and cool off. Then again, they may be training for the Olympics and want an Olympic pool behind their house. And I'm not going to know if I don't ask. Or they're going to have large pool parties and they want a pool large enough to be able to put up a volleyball net and have a big party. And I'm not going to know if I don't ask. What else does your new home have to have? And I'm just going to keep going until we have 5 have-tos. The next question is going to be, now tell me 5 things that you would like to have. These are things that I'm looking for, Luciana, but they're not deal killers. If the house doesn't have them, I'm still moving forward, but I would like to have these things. Now, part of the process is price. We're looking up to $400,000. We've been approved at $400,000. Now, at any point, if I feel that I'm talking to someone who has a goal that I cannot meet or an expectation that I cannot exceed, I'm simply going to say, there's no discrimination in this comment. It is just fact. And I'm saying that, Claudia, because that was what you said to me, right? I am just going to simply say, Eddie, for the market that we're in right now, I believe that you have a goal that I cannot meet and expectations that I cannot exceed. So I believe that it is in my best interest, and more importantly, it's in your best interest if we either wait for the market to shift and start looking then, or you and I part friends and I'm not the right real estate agent for you. Now, Eddie, how did that feel?
Actually, you were straight to the point, and I felt as you're the expert, I should respect that.
Okay. Do you feel like I am choosing to turn you down for any reason that would be anything else other than, now I'm an attorney again, other than I'm an attorney, you're bringing a case to me that I don't believe we can win?
No, absolutely not.
That's it. Doesn't have to be any more harder than that.
Mhm.
It's just that straightforward. Now, here's the other thing, guys, that's super cool about this. If you are currently spending 20 hours a week, 30 hours a week, chasing listings, writing offers that aren't going to get accepted, working with buyers who have goals you can't meet, expectations you can't exceed, and you took that same 20 hours and you spent that 20 hours looking for listings, how many more listings would you get?
A lot.
Could you possibly find a property that fit the description for one of those buyers?
For sure.
Then would you call them and say, hey, you know what? Good news. I just found a house that has all 5 things you were looking for. And you know what? It has three of the things that you wanted. Guys, I hope you're having some ahas today. Change the way you look at things. Things you look at change. All right. Talk to me.
Great conversation for a Monday.
Thank you, Camille.
Definitely, John. And thanks to your words about care calls versus sales calls. I always had this goofy fear, my drunk monkey, about calling my sphere. Oh, I don't want to, seem like I'm that person that's always calling when I want something. And that really helped solve the problem.
Yeah. There you go. Guys, I know not everybody's going to buy this. Trust me, I get it. Somebody got on my YouTube channel and just ripped me to pieces because they said that's not a care call. I'm like, okay, thank you for playing. All right, give me a couple more ahas, guys. We're going to jump.
Everything you said, John, is true. I've lived in my database for the last 15 years, maybe even longer. And that percentage is true if you're making those 36 touches religiously.
Eddie, how many real estate agents are...
four calls are a must, if not more, a year.
If not more.
Yep.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Eddie, how many real estate agents are in your network?
I would say I have 3 groups of 45,000 approximately.
45,000.
Yep.
Are those potential referral sources?
100%.
Hello. All right, I've got this today, guys, because I'm 2 minutes late for an emergency meeting. Time to get to work. What is work? Work is whatever number of conversations that is your goal today. That's it, period. It's not my goal, it's your goal. However, if that number is 5, then it's not 4, it's not 3, it's not 2. If it's 10, it's not 8, it's not 9, it's not 7, it's not close enough. Because the 9th conversation could have been $1 million listing that you didn't get because you didn't have the conversation. Make care calls, not sale calls. Always lead with gratitude. Always bring value to every single conversation. Every day, focus on getting at least 1 appointment, adding 1 person to your database, or getting a referral every single day. Find somebody today that's thinking of selling their home, whether it's 30 days from now, 6 months from now, or a year from now, doesn't matter, because a year from now, you're going to need listings. And then follow up forever, because you reject rejection, and because no is not a word that lives in your vocabulary. And when you follow up forever, people will not change their mind, but what they will do is make a new decision based on new information. And because you followed up forever, you are creating emotional proximity. So when they make a new decision, that new decision is going to be to hire you. Make it a great day.
Thank you, John.
Thanks, everybody. Make it an amazing one.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, everybody.